You were a few meters away from your middle school when you let loose. Throwing your head in your hands, you groaned, "I can't believe this." You walked a few more steps, stopping once you were under the sakura tree in front of the store that sat on the side of your school. You whined. You didn't see him, but you felt a shiver run through your body as he passed. The air around him was freezing, but in this summer heat it felt like the ocean. You removed your hands and watched him as he passed you. He looked more stoic than when you saw him in the hallway. You lifted your head. You tilted your head. "Todoroki?" But he didn't hear you. He walked into the store, Ringojusu, which translates to apple juice in English. You watched him trot in, stared at the window for a little bit, then turned and began heading home. "That's not coincidence," you mumbled, looking around. This year would be your last year of middle school. You were really excited to finish the year. Yes, you would miss some of your friends, Okumura Rin, Kojima Hikari, and Ikure Aoi. But you were excited, and although Hikari was planning to apply to UA like you didn't want to get your hopes up. By the time you got home, you were a sweating mess. You kept thinking about the boy with the two-toned hair color. The only reason you recognized him at Katsuki's school was that your brother had mentioned him over and over. And, well, with that hair, it wasn't all that complicated to understand why your brother called him icy hot. You wondered what his quirk was. Was it something hot like Katsuki's? Or maybe it was something cold like ice or snow. That would certainly explain why the air around him was cold when he passed you. But it wasn't just when he passed you after school. Earlier today, in the morning, he had passed you and the air felt ice cold. It was thick and a little hard to breathe. That feeling of uneasiness came back. You shivered and tried to push Todoroki away from the front of your thoughts. Throwing your school bag on your desk, you went to go lay down. You needed to figure out how you were going to tell your mom you had to retake your math finals in the summer. She was going to be pissed, that's for sure. You heard your front door slam shut, and you knew Katsuki was home. You felt sweat drip down your brow, even though the air conditioner was on. Why in? There it was, but you expected it, so you weren't completely scared. You heard him run up the stairs. He stopped in front of your door, huffing and puffing. "Yes, dear brother that I love so much?" "Open this damn door right now." He jingled the handle. "It's not locked." You frowned, standing up. "What do you want anyway?" You swung open the door, an innocent and confused expression spreading across your face. He glared down at you. Your brother was definitely the older one of you two. It was obvious in many things. Height, for one. He was 5'8", and you were 5'5". He was muscular, and you were getting there. The other obvious thing that separated you were your eyes. Yes, you both had that blood-red pupil color. But his eyes showed history, emotion, and knowledge. You could tell he'd been imprinted on, and that he would leave his own mark on the world one day. You, on the other hand, were known, still innocent, a baby, in other words, a toddler. Sometimes you wondered if that's why Katsuki called you that. Maybe he could tell that you were just a babe, not yet ready for the world yet. You honestly hoped that wasn't the truth because you wanted him to see you as you saw him, something to be admired. "Why did you give my lunch to Icy Hot?" "It's not like that." You waved your hands in front of you. "He was just there." "Yeah, well, don't do it again." You smiled. "Why not?" "Shut up." He pulled the door shut. You leaned against the closed door, listening to his feet shuffle away. His door opened and closed, the quietest you had ever heard him be with anything. "Your brother is really harsh." Hikari laughed, smacking you on the back. You frowned, looking depressed, with sweat dripping down your forehead, which happened regularly when you spoke of your brother. Hikari knew everything. He was like a brother to you, which also meant he was close to Katsuki. Well, as close as someone could be to Katsuki. He was mostly ignored or threatened, but by now he must have been used to it. At least you hoped so, because then it would be awkward going to the same high school. When Katsuki was still in middle school with you, Hikari would usually avoid him because of the crowd he hung around. You didn't blame him. You were worried for Katsuki before this year too. More so than More so than you knew he was about himself. It bugged you all the time, but you never said anything about it because he already had your mom getting on his back. You didn't want to drive him away more than he was already drifting. Something changed this year, though. Something was different. You couldn't place it. Not yet, anyway. But he seemed more himself these past few weeks. The school year barely started back at the beginning of April, but there was already a clear change in Katsuki's attitude. Hey, Hwayan? What? You looked about you, confused. Then you met Hikari's eyes again. Oh, sorry, I spaced out. Yeah, you seem to be doing that a lot lately. Is something bothering you? No, oh no, it's nothing, it's... You thought back to Todoroki, that the image disappeared as fast as it appeared. Nothing. You sure, man? Seriously, what's on your mind? It's not like you to keep things to yourself. You chuckled, a bit of nervousness seeping through your facade. It's nothing, really. Just thinking about my math exam. Oh, right. You have to redo that part during summer, huh? He smiled, brown hair falling in his gray eyes. Yeah, it's seriously annoying. You should get Katsuki to help you to study, since he technically is the reason you missed it the first time. You ran a hand through your hair. Yeah, that does make sense. But, oh come on, you think he'd really help? When you think of that word, Bakugo Katsuki doesn't exactly come to mind, now does he? You turned your head and faced Aoi. Aoi's right, I've met your brother like once, but he sure left an impression. Rin sighed. You recalled the first time he met Katsuki. He walked into the wrong room, and Katsuki practically threatened to murder him if he ever stepped foot in his fortress again. You smiled, thinking about the memory. Yeah, and he called his bedroom a fortress. That's not funny. Seriously, it scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Aoi patted his back. Your laughter died down, and again Todoroki's two-toned head came into your mind. You blushed and shook your head at his image. It's nothing, you told yourself. Nothing at all. Hey, so the sports festival's coming up, right? Hikari asked. Oh yeah, Rin added. Is your brother going to be participating? You should totally invite us. You thought about it for a moment, but after hearing their excitement, you couldn't help but be compelled to say yes. Katsuki would probably threaten to murder them if they showed up, but then again, he does that whenever they come over, so it's not really anything new. Sure. After you got home, you brought up your idea to your father, who brought it to your mother, who then told instead of really asking your brother, which went as well as you'd expected. What? Who gave you permission to invite your idiot friends? Come now, Katsuki, Hwayan's friends are probably going to support you. I think it's a great idea. Of course you do, you old hag. You like to see me suffer. Sweat dripped down you and your father's brow. You tried to slip away gracefully, but you were caught. And where do you think you're going? My room? Yeah, right. After he calmed down a bit, he turned to you, looking away, too serious. If you or your friends embarrass me, you'll kill us. Yeah, I already know. You've only threatened us like 1,000,000 times with that same line. Stop trying to predict my words. But that's what you were going to say, right? You steadied your gaze. Whatever, I'm going to sleep, so don't bother me anymore tonight. Does that mean I can bother you tomorrow? I'll kill you, brat. You grinned, waving goodnight to your brother. A few seconds later, you looked up, watching your dad putting away the plates. Hey, Dad, can I ask you something? Sure, go right ahead. His smile was inviting, as it always was, but for some reason, the words you wanted to say, the question you wanted to ask, was lodged in your throat. You swallowed, then opened your mouth to ask again, but failed. The only thing that came out was, never mind, have a good night. Then you ran up to your room, and now you were biting your tongue and punching your pillow. Why couldn't you have just asked? It was just a simple question. Do you know Kachan's classmate, Todoroki? Your face went red and your heartbeat sped up. Why were you acting so odd? What in the world was your problem? Right. You made up your mind. I'll talk to him again. You thought talking to him would help you sort out why you kept thinking of him. You thought that maybe he was so mysterious he just intrigued you somehow. At the sports festival,